They tell me you're a man with true grit.
What do you want, girl? Speak up at supper time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we are, the True Grit Podcast. It's time to drop the hammer on another weekly show. And Pat Moore, how's life treating you this week?
You know, it's great, Shane. We're at the kind of the peak of racing season. We're coming around turn 4, if you will. Got a lot of races in this last week. The big kahuna is on deck for this coming week. Couldn't be any better.
All right, man, that's great. Yeah, I want to let you know everybody in my house had the same cold I had 2 weeks ago. I went to the doctor. They didn't go to the doctor. Everybody's healthy but me.
Yeah.
What's going on there, man?
But you know what? At least it's not affecting your voice.
Hey,
yeah. You know, watching some of those video clips, I'm like, whoa, who's announcing?
Yeah,
that?
who's that guy?
And what we really should have is we should have a giant plexiglass here if I were concerned.
Man, that's right. You know, you got to watch me. I'm breathing on you every day. Hey, here we go. Boy, for complete results on all the tracks we're going to talk about tonight, go to IowaRacingNews.com, but we're going to give you some highlights. Our guest tonight, we have got Brian Harris on the show. Brian, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, man. We're delighted. Hey, a couple of things that went on over the weekend. Friday night, Davenport Speedway. Heck of a show in the late model feature event. Andy Nesworski picked off the win, but boy, Jacob Waterman all over him as laps wound down. Lap cars coming to play. Veteran Andy Nesworski picks off the win.
You couldn't have any better racing than that.
Yeah. Modified. Brad Dirks was out a week ago in a brand new red modified. Just had another number X taped on it. He comes out, new wrap on that thing, and he picks off the feature win in the modifieds. Sport Mod, we had Anthony Franklin pick off his first IMCA Sport Mod win.
How about that? A day he'll never forget.
Yeah, you never forget your first win. Street Stock, it was Jeff Struck Jr. Picking off the win at Davenport Speedway, and then Sport Compact, the Hitman, Aaron Hitt, picked off the win. Then Saturday night, Pat, you and I went up to Macokota.
Yes, we did.
Hauling with Hoker.
That's right.
Trucking.
That's right. Mother Nature would not slow us down.
It wouldn't, boy. Nope. We were up there. So in Macokota, late models, Todd Cooney, former IMCA Dairy Series champion,
right.
picked off the win. Glad to see old Todd do that. He hails out of Des Moines, Iowa. And the Sport Mod, Nick Hickson switches from a street stock, wins a championship at Davenport Friday night, comes over to Macokota Saturday night, and wins the Sport Mod feature, driving one of Pepe's cars. Looked great in it. Man.
Talk about a great weekend.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nick and the whole team, and that flexibility to be able to jump in a different car like that and come out and find success. I mean, that's outstanding.
Yeah. Then, we look at, what do we got? West Liberty, Spencer Dirks. Man, he's been battling that Bell's palsy all year. You know, I know it, it can have tendency to get in your head a little bit, and he picks up $5,000.
How about that?
For that late model win. So that guy's on fire, and he's going to go into this weekend at Davenport Speedway with our 3-day World Outlaw show with a great attitude and just a lot of momentum.
Absolutely. I think that was a brand new car.
It was.
And it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, too. I've known Spencer almost his entire life. Really, really good family and a great young man. Great man now. Not necessarily a young man anymore, but he's a good kid. So.
Hey, Pat, let's start off talking about the national scene. What's going on out there?
The big-time stuff. World of Outlaws. World of Outlaw late model, Shane. B. Shep won his 6th World of Outlaw main of the season last night in Erie, Pennsylvania. The World of Outlaw guys were out in Pennsylvania and Ohio. Last night, B. Shep picked up his 6th main of the year. Dave Hess, one of the local guys. Brian, you and I were just talking about some of the local guys being competitive. He actually started dead last, came all the way through the field to 2nd. Fortunately, B. Shep had a big enough lead that he was able to hold on to it. And a shout-out to Chubb Frank for an outstanding run. He gave B. Shep everything he could handle as well. Came home 3rd. Saturday night, Kyle Larson led every lap over Ryan Guston and B. Shep in Sharon, Ohio. Does this kid never quit? I mean...
Man, I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, it don't matter if he's in a dirt late model, a cup car, sprint car. He just keeps coming.
The scary thing about this is, and we talked about a little bit in the show on Saturday, Williams Grove Friday night, Greg Satterley kind of had everybody covered. If there would have been a caution flag, Kyle Larson was coming. It was coming fast. He had passed Chris Madden for second and was moving. And there was a giant rut going into turn one and folded the nose under on the Rumley car, which cost him certainly the win. But he would have been in contention to win on Friday night as well. But Greg Satterley ended up bringing it home. But shout out to that kid in the middle, man. He is just a true talent, you know.
Gustin from Iowa. Did he get second? Did Gustin get second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
There you go.
He's close to picking off a win.
And
ain't that
it's
the truth?
stuff like this, and I get asked this a lot about why we're doing this or what we're trying to do. And I actually got to watch a little bit of the Cup race on Sunday, and did you? I guess I didn't really realize, and I was planning on talking about this later, but did you guys realize that they're putting resin now on like the outside grooves of the NASCAR tracks?
Wow.
Basically, kind of like simulating a cushion, if you will, a sticky part up high to kind of simulate a cushion. Guys, what we get to do on a regular basis is so phenomenal. This racing is just outstanding. Getting to watch a talent like Kyle Larson run week after week after week. And people watching, man, if you don't get a chance to get out and watch him race at some point, you're doing yourselves a disservice because this kid is a one-time in a generation kind of talent.
For sure. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that have kind of stepped away from watching the NASCAR, and I think that he is what's going to bring some people back.
Without a doubt.
It's very interesting to watch him work.
And it's interesting to see NASCAR kind of emulate short track racing.
Right.
I mean, basically they've gone to a format where they're basically running like 2 heat races in the main event. Now they're putting stuff like cushions on there.
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm like, oh man, what are they doing? This is awesome. This is awesome, and I'm glad to see both ways. I'm glad to see the NASCAR guys coming down and running midgets and late models and sprints and stuff like that, and then hopefully it will attract some people back to NASCAR. But undoubtedly, it helps our Saturday night stuff as well. In the Lucas Oil Racing, one of my favorite races, the 29th annual Topless 100 was down in Batesville, Arkansas. On Saturday night. They actually ran Thursday. Thursday got rained out. They ran Friday and Saturday. Hudson O'Neal brought home his first ever Topless 100, his second crown jewel of the year, so shout out to him. I wouldn't at all be surprised if Hudson, being how he's from Indiana, if he's not here in town this coming week.
Sure.
Jimmy Owens picked up the Friday night qualifier, the $5,000 Friday night qualifier. And moving on to the Dirt Track Summer Nationals, the Hell Tour kind of wrapped up their season. And I'll tell you what, Brian, I don't know if you've ever run the Hell Tour. The Hell Tour is an appropriate name for this thing because they run night after night after night after night after night all summer long. It wrapped up in Michigan this last weekend. Devin Moran pretty much dominated the 40-lap main. Bobby Pierce charged on Moran, was cut short kind of mid-race. He had motor problems. That was Thursday night. However, Saturday night, Bobby Pierce was able to bring home a 12th place finish and wrapped up the championship in the $29,000 point fund bonus. So shout out to Bobby for consistency throughout the whole year. He actually picked up 13 main event wins in 28 starts on the Hell Tour.
I mean, that's crazy.
Outstanding season.
Crazy.
So shout out to Bobby. Saturday at Merritt Speedway, Ashton Winger made it two for two, battling Devin Moran for the win. Devin Moran also picked up a main event win.
Okay.
I'm going to skip sprint cars this week, but we have kind of a relatively sizable event coming here in town this week, Shane.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to talk about that. We're going to have the World Outlaws in town over at Davenport Speedway. They're going to be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and what I posted on my page and our page is, an agenda on how that's all going to roll out. Thursday, August 26th, 11 a.m., we're going to have the food fest, so all the carny food will be out there. Hey, you want funnel cakes, you want a corn dog, you want anything you want that was in that carny food lineup, we're going to have it there at Davenport Speedway Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 11 o'clock every day that opens up. Stop over and get a bite to eat. We're going to have the Wood Slot Raceways. We're going to have a guy with a slot car track. You can rent the cars, go out there and beat and bang around the racetrack, have a lot of fun. B&B Dirt Racing Simulators are going to be there.
Yep.
So you'll be able to get in and strap on the Oculus and going to look like you're right inside one of those race cars. At noon every day, grandstand tickets are on sale.
There you go.
So you can get over there, get early, get your favorite seat. 2 o'clock p.m., pit pass sales open up. And then 3:30 to 6:30 p.m., we're going to have the Hauler for Hokers, Toys for Tots toy drive. So bring over a toy. We want to try to fill that truck up and donate that to the kids that really are less fortunate and don't have the opportunity to enjoy the Christmas that the three of us have enjoyed every year.
Yeah.
Finally, 5 o'clock p.m., ticket booths can open up. Front gate opens up, and the shed opens up. We usually open up that at 10 o'clock at night, so you can sit out there and toss back a few cold ones and watch a little racing action on the TV. Finally, 6:30 p.m., we're going to have hot laps, then we'll move into time trials.
Yep.
We'll have our invocation. We're going to have 2-seater races throughout the night, so you'll be able to buy a ticket for $5. We're going to draw a name out of the hat. Somebody's going to jump in that dirt late model in the passenger seat and go for a couple of laps.
Are you going to be driving?
Not me.
You notice how we mentioned passenger seat. So,
Passenger
and you know what
seat.
popped in my head is I'm bringing my helmet and uniform just in case.
You never know,
Just
Pat.
in case.
There you go.
That's right.
And then every night after the races, we're going to have a live band. Thursday night, it's going to be the Dirt Road Rockers. Friday night, we're going to have Just Cuz. And Saturday night, it's going to be Bad Hair. So 3 great nights, action-packed, a lot of fun, Davenport Speedway. World of Outlaws, there's nothing better. And Brian, you picked off that World Outlaw win back in 2007, buddy.
Yeah, it seems like forever ago. But
Yeah. Really hadn't been that long
2007
ago.
2007 was a good year. I think they've been back. The World of Outlaws have been back here a few different times.
Sure.
But we're as soon as they announced this race at the beginning of the year, I mean,
Yep.
it's everybody in the Quad Cities has been looking forward to it.
heck
Right.
yeah.
Just all the things that you list. I mean, there's a lot of things to do for all ages. So come on out and have some fun.
Yeah, and I think not only will all eyes in the racing world be on that, but I like seeing this really turn into an event. It's not just a race; it's really turning into an event. So
Right.
a lot of those extracurricular stuffs really make a difference. I wouldn't at all be surprised, and I might even challenge you to race the simulator a little bit.
Okay.
We'll see. But I wouldn't at all be surprised if a lot of the NASCAR guys or a lot of the late model guys don't come and play in the simulator. I know
Sure.
they do it at Knoxville.
Yeah.
I race against the sprint car guys at Knoxville all the time. So, speaking of social media, actually, I guess we weren't speaking of social media, but I was thinking about it before I forget. In case you're new to the channel, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. We also have our simulcast on Spotify. So if you watch us on YouTube, please make sure that you like and share down at the bottom. Like and share. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button.
Sure.
And you can also join us on chat. And we'll have the chat. It looks like we already have some chats up there already, which is outstanding. And then we're also on Twitch as well.
Yeah. We're going to be giving away some prizes later on, too, and we've got a couple of questions for you. So get ready to tune in, answer those questions, and you might be able to win one of those WDRL autographed Brian Harris T-shirts.
There you go.
Everybody wants one of those. So, Wookie, we got a picture of that go-kart up there, Mount Joy Raceway. We're going to roll the clock way back, Brian. Who's
my
that?
gosh.
How about that?
Yeah.
That was my very first night of racing.
Was it really?
Yes, it
Awesome.
was in the front yard.
Number 21, man. It stuck with you.
Holy smokes!
You got the Yamaha, though.
Yeah.
Nice.
I haven't seen that picture for a while. That's crazy.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I mean, Mount Joy Airport, you had Spider Duffy out there running the speedway. It just birthed a lot of great racers that are, dirt track racing today. And it all started out on that Mount Joy cartway. Brian, tell us a few of the names you know of.
Yeah, this night we were going to Davenport, the Davenport Speedway. But
Okay.
then Sundays was East Moline, or I'm sorry,
Mount Joy.
Mount Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of us that came up through those go-kart ranks. Matt Ryan,
Right.
Justin Dirks.
Right, there you go.
I mean, I can go
Brad Dirks.
on and on.
I mean, on and on.
Yeah.
And it all started right out there
Yeah.
at Mount Joy.
Yeah,
What a
the
great
dads-
time to be
the
racing
dads-
out there.
The dads got together and repaved that place, and
Yeah.
it kind of just took off. And there's a lot of fun years.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's everybody's kind of grown up, and it's no more.
And when you talk about that, I was talking to Steve Duffy. Good Lord called him home this year. He died of COVID, but he was telling me, he said the glory years really out there at the racetrack is when you were racing out there, because he said there were a lot of business people out there at that point. And he said the paving of the racetrack would have cost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But he said literally the racers that raced out there all chipped in and, ended up getting it done, and it really didn't cost
Yeah, it was
what it could have cost.
It was a lot of the dads that, and even some business people that raced pitched in and helped. I mean, it was weeks of prep.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a lot of
Ain't
fun.
that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Hey, Wookie, you got a picture of that number 21?
White and black.
Yes, sir. You are going to bring it up, the number 2 pick. That's one of those NX Legends cars.
That's my cousin.
That's your cousin racing that
That's
car.
my cousin Rick.
And so still the 21H number.
Right.
You're carrying it with the Harris racing family. And for a while over there at Davenport Speedway, they were a regular on the weekly program. And those guys put on a great show for us on Friday nights over at Davenport Speedway. Mm-hmm. Now, did you ever drive one of those legend cars, Brian?
Yeah, that was 1 year. Nick and Tim Carlson had their little deal, and we went from go-karts to the legend car for a year, and then asphalt late model, and then Gary Webb got us into the dirt racing, and it's been dirt racing ever since.
All right.
That's something I did not know about you. I didn't know that you raced an asphalt late model.
Yeah, 1 year at Cedar Rapids.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, Wookie, let's take a look at one of those red and white number 21H cars.
There you are, boss.
There we go. Now, that is a car that just, I'm a red guy. Mm-hmm. And the car was red and white. You had Iowa, Illinois, Taylor Insulation, Reynolds Motor Company. But that was the Harris Racing team that you and your dad had back in the day. Yeah, man, what a picture.
Yeah, that was
Shelby County Speedway.
Yeah, that was Jim Wilson's O'Reilly series.
Yeah.
Went from O'Reilly to Debbie Dearell.
Yeah. Now, Brian.
Fun years. I had a broken arm at that picture there.
Oh, boy, you're kidding me. How'd that broken arm happen?
That was at East Moline.
Yep.
Somebody got into the wheel and
oh, my God.
Snapped it.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
So back then, now Tyson Gear and Scott Ward, were they crewing for you back then?
Scott was. Tyson came on around like 2005.
Okay.
2006 maybe.
All right.
Yeah, but that was just Scott and Zach Frields.
Okay.
Zach Frields has been around the sport for many, many years. Helped damn near everybody in the pit area.
Everybody raced,
and he's with he's up in Farley now with Jason Round. That's where he's
great.
Landed his suitcases right now.
Okay.
Nice.
How do you like that? Pat will race the sim, but won't try VRI racing.
See, and
all right,
yeah,
Brent.
I know. Yeah, Brent taking a shot at me there, and it's not without warrant. I owe him a couple of races over at his house. The problem is going over and racing that stuff is we have a racing addiction, and so I know that once I get started, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
When the whole COVID thing was going on, I was looking at the simulators, and I talked to my wife, and I knew that I'd be down in that basement, So I mean, I wasn't even gonna buy
non-stop.
it. No, you just get addicted, and you're down there, and you look at the phone or the watch, and it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I've never done it, but I know what would happen, so I didn't buy one.
Yeah, see, and you were smart because you talked to the wife first. Yeah. It's not a, hey, honey, I bought a sim rig, and I'm going to be down in the basement.
Yeah.
$7,000 sim rig.
Yeah.
So, like my brother's into that, and I mean, he's got the seat belts, I mean, he's got all this stuff on. I'm going to ask you, Brent Pryor, you're out there. Do you wear a fire suit when you're racing that simulator?
I got a dollar.
I bet he does.
He does.
I bet he does.
I got a dollar that says he does.
Come on,
but I tell you what, speaking of that cast that you had on in that picture, when you crash on the sim, it hurts a lot less.
Yeah, it does.
For sure.
Hey, Wookie, how about a picture of that red and white car now? We'll take a look at one of the other 21H cars that you ran over the years, Brian. And really, how do you like that, man? Got that left front up in the air, hammer down. One of the sponsors that you see on a lot of cars over the years, Scotty Harris Relk. I mean, man, that guy has spent a lot of money sponsoring race cars.
Big fan.
Big fan, no kidding. And he's already got his campsite for the World Outlaws show over there at Davenport.
I'm sure he had it last year.
He had it last year. And, I mean, you go up there. This guy hauls a golf cart to the racetrack. And if you go up there and you want a steak sandwich or a burger, I mean, He'll grill it up for you.
Yeah.
You don't care if it's midnight, 1 o'clock.
And I think, if I remember right, I heard that most of the camp spots are already taken for that
they
show.
are.
So this deal's going to be big.
Big
this week.
deal.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go to the next picture, Wook, see what we got up there.
Shout out to Denny Paulson and Terry Stock
There
watching.
you go.
Thanks for joining us.
You know,
guys.
again, I always like that gold and that red you
Yeah,
guys had on
That's
that.
our very first car that Gary helped us build. That's Zach Frields in the background. And that's a funny picture. Well, not really funny, but kind of ironic. The car, the 15 car behind there is Lynn Richards' car. And that's who I ended up driving for.
Sure.
2013, 14, 15.
Nice.
And he's had a lot of great drivers in that car over the years, too. And, man, you did that car a lot of justice, Brian. So what do we got up next, Wook?
Brian with his dad.
Hey, I like that. We got to get a picture of Dad up there. I mean, that was the money
Oh
man.
my gosh, yeah, that's instead of racing, we've been going golfing.
I see that. Got a little club there.
And I've been fortunate enough to grow up working with my dad, and racing with him.
Nothing better.
Well, I mean, there's stressful times in work and racing.
Yeah.
So not so stressful times on the golf course.
Yeah.
So we have some fun. We have fun.
You play golf differently than I do.
I'm just learning. I mean, this is probably my first year of getting into it, and
See, you're
having a
right
lot
at
of
that
fun.
fun level. That's nice.
Now, your dad's business, Brian, you raced full-time in the 21H car. That was your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had we had Tyson as an employee. He's gone on to when we sold everything. I had introduced Tyson to Kai's, and he's kind of been out there ever since. I mean, he's had some
Shifting around, but he's still back.
But he's
back
back
with
there
Kai's
now. Yeah. And he's obviously anywhere he's gone. He's won a lot of races with whatever team he's with. I mean, he's good.
That guy is really good. So tell me a little bit about 2008. I think that was the last year that you had the race team together. Is that correct?
Yeah. So 2007, we ended the year with that accident.
Yep.
And then 2008, I mean, it was kind of a weird year. Kind of feels like what we're in right now with politics and craziness. But we sold the cars, and
I mean, the economy tanked.
Yeah.
I remember, our business went in the tank in 2008. We just had a nosedive. I don't know if it was June, July, but you guys experienced the same thing in your dad's business.
Yeah. And then and going back to the racing, like WDRL, they were, I believe they still had a series in 2008, but they lost the title sponsor, so we decided to do the NASCAR weekly racing thing.
Okay.
We still race some WDRL, but we concentrated on the national championship.
Okay.
Nice.
And that was the last year for my parents' team, and then after that is when I went to the 75 team down in Peoria.
Yeah, right. So let's go back to that severe wreck you had back in 2007. I mean, it was kind of a high and low for you. I mean, you win a World Outlaw show, and then, man, you're running that 100-lapper up there at Liberty, and all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Tell me about how that wreck kind of transpired.
Well,
Lap traffic.
Yeah, lap traffic.
Yeah.
I have videos of it.
You're leading in WDRL
we were
points
leading
that time.
we were leading the WDRL points.
4 shows left.
Yeah, and it all kind of just
unraveled.
came to a halt.
Because after that wreck, Brian, the injuries you sustained, we talked about a little earlier. I mean, you had a concussion, and you had a broken neck. Your season was over.
It was done. Yeah. And and then you had to wait all winter to find out if I knew in my mind, or I thought in my mind that I could still do it, but you don't really know until you get out there.
Right.
And so we had to wait all winter long, building the cars and getting ready for the season, and still not knowing what we were actually going to do, because once the 2008 season started, we didn't make that decision until probably a month or a month and a half into the season on what direction we were going to go. But like I said, I mean, when Tyson came on board with Scott,
Yeah.
just a ton of success, and 2008 was the end of it.
Yeah.
And then I've played with Tyson a little bit with like Ricky and Joe Zroslik.
Okay.
Scott Ward he's been with whatever card I'm in. I mean,
Yeah.
He comes along and can't do it without him.
Yeah, I know.
Good dude.
You know, when you talk about that, having the concussion. Pat Moore, you're a sprint car driver.
Yep.
You've had how many concussions?
2 or at least 2 severe, if not 3.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, I've had a concussion racing, and, it was just recently that they started, like the NFL, having that concussion protocol. But unless you had, a concussion, I remember after I had one, driving open wheel modified, we had a bad wreck, broke my wrist. We got cast put on. I said, man, I'm going to go back out and keep racing. And I remember that first race, getting in the car, and I'm going down the straightaway, and it was like everything was jiggling in front of me.
I know what you're talking.
I mean, stuff's moving around. I'm like,
I know what you're talking about.
What in the world? Well, we were leading in national points in '87. I said, I got to go, man. We're going to do this thing. We just had a couple of shows left. But I'm going to tell you, I remember, I'm going to just say this. I threw up in the car after the races. I was very sick to my stomach. Everything was moving around in front of me. It's like the whole world was shaking. And I said, man, we got to get this season over. So we joke about this.
Yeah, we laugh about it, but it's not.
But it's serious stuff.
It is very serious.
And so here I am at 62 years old now. And, if I forget the keys of the car or forget where I put the remote, I'm like, okay, was it that wreck or is it just me getting old?
But I think, so we also get asked this a lot, Brian. A lot of people ask where the theme to our show, True Grit, comes from. And that's actually one of the things that we always like to ask a lot of our guests, if not all of them, a lot of them, is you get in a situation like that, like you were hurt. Obviously, it wasn't even just a nick and a bang. It was a severe injury. Mm-hmm. That really is where that True Grit theme comes from, where most people would say, and I'm sure you got asked this, and I guess I should ask this question, did you ever consider giving up? Did you ever consider at that point saying, you know what, this is one too close to home, I'm going to hang up the helmet?
No, not at that age.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought about it today, but not at that age. But the things that you experience, I mean, and everybody's injury is different. But something that helped me in just the last few years is when Dale Earnhardt Jr. made his announcement to step away from the driving duties.
Okay.
He wrote a book and about the concussions and stuff like that. And a lot of the things that he talked about in that book, I felt, but I didn't talk about it with anybody.
Right? Yeah.
But which made it bad. Just stressed me out, not knowing what was going on. But the book really helped me out.
It did.
It did.
Man, I'm going to have to buy that book.
I give him credit because he was one of the big high-profile guys and one of the first ones and caught a lot of heat for saying, no, I'm not going to get in the car because of a lot of the things. And we're getting smarter as a society on the damage that concussions cause. And you can see it, and I equate a lot of race car drivers are kind of like football players, except with football players, if you leave them to their own wares, hell yeah, they're going to go back in and play again. Mm-hmm. You got to hold them back, and race car drivers are the same way.
I've said it for a long time that the racer, they need to be protected from themselves.
Absolutely.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
That's a good statement.
In many different ways.
Yeah.
So I just got to preach like all that safety equipment. I'm guilty of it. I've done some dumb things with neck braces and gloves and
man.
But it's there for a reason, and it you never know when it's going to happen.
Sure.
And it can happen to anybody.
Yep.
Hey, well, I want to talk about your record. In 2008, you ended up finishing second in that NASCAR Wheeling All-American Series. But listen to this, Pat: 20 wins, 35 top fives. I mean, that was his record in 38 starts.
Jeez.
I mean, is that crazy?
That is unbelievable.
I mean, so Brian, you just don't give yourself a pat on the back enough, because that in itself, even though you had that bad wreck, I mean, it's an amazing stat.
Yeah, it was a fun year.
It was a real fun year. 2010, you come back, you're going to be driving that 75 car for Ray Neltner. Now, I want to talk about some of the drivers that drove that thing. Ray Gus Jr., Ray Gus Sr., Bob Dominacki, Billy Tuckwell, Rick Stanridge, Tim Lance. I mean,
Cothran.
Mike Cothran. I mean, my God.
Those are some big shoes.
All high-profile drivers.
Those are some big shoes to fill.
And you climbed in that car, and again found a lot of success driving that number 75.
Yeah. It was a neat experience. Saw a lot of new tracks that I'd never been to with the UMP, the UMP stuff. And I did the UMP Summer Nationals with them. Not the whole thing.
Yeah.
But we dabbled with it a little bit. So when I came back home from Peoria, I mean, I felt like I was a better racer from being with that 75 team.
Good. Yeah, heck of a team. So, Lynn Richards. Let's see what we got next for a pick, Wookie. Okay, that was right at the end of the 21H team. That would have been where, Brian?
That's at Dubuque with Ricky Kai and Joe Roslick's car.
Okay.
Nice.
That was the first year. That was the first race back from the 75 ride.
Beautiful car, 2011.
Built. Yeah.
Yep.
Good car.
What do we got up next, Wook? Probably got more of that 21H. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, those are my sisters.
You're at the racing banquet.
Yeah, that was in Las Vegas after that 2008 season.
Yep. Yeah. And so tell us about that banquet. I mean, you're at that NASCAR banquet. Who's there with you?
I brought my family.
All right.
Family, and then a couple friends that helped throughout the year. Justin Kai came out with his girlfriend.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's NASCAR. I mean, I'm sure you've heard how they treat all their drivers, and
sure,
it
was a different world, man.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's
when Gary Webb won that 2000 Dodge NASCAR Weekly National Championship, 200 grand, but he said, "Man, I'm there," and he said, "Dale Earnhardt's there, all the Cup guys, and I got to get up on the stage and give a speech."
Yeah.
And
he's good at that.
And he's good.
Yeah.
And everything was first class.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was treated like a king, and he deserved it. I mean, with the year that he had in 2000.
No kidding.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now look at Butch Seals. He'll be at the races this weekend. And he just retired. Congratulations on your retirement, Butch.
Congrats.
First time I met Brian, I was in his sister's math class, and he brought her lunch. And she introduced him to me, and I've been a fan ever since.
The head injury's kicking in.
There you go.
There you go.
I got to see a picture.
All right. We're going to give away one of the T-shirts. It's going to be a WDRL autographed Brian Harris T-shirt. And so first question is going to be, how many career feature wins did Brian have in a late model?
Total.
Total.
Nice.
Put your guesses up there on the board, right where to type the message.
In the comments.
And it's whoever gets the correct answer on our end. We all know how the internet works, and some people got dial-up, some people got high-speed internet, so it's whatever pops up first on our screen. Carl Thompson, first guess.
They can enter on Facebook or YouTube. And back to social media real quick. If you're watching us on Facebook, please like and share. Go ahead and share it to your post. It helps us more than you realize. Same thing with YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, like and subscribe. And sometimes that's up in that little menu area. It's a little bit harder to see, but ring the subscribe. It helps us phenomenally.
And I'm gonna tell you, we're already giving away one T-shirt, and it's won by Bob Danielson. He guessed 77. That was quick.
Yeah.
All
Second
right.
guess.
How do you like that? So we got a winner, Bob Danielson. Bob, stop by the studio, 1414 West Locust, Davenport, Iowa. You have 1 week to pick up your prize. If not, it goes back into the prize vault.
77 main event wins.
How do you like
Brian,
that,
that's
man? That's a good number.
That's
we'll get to the second question. We got plenty of time left here, a little later in the show here. So what was your best racing memory you had, Brian?
Oh, boy. Something that it's probably, we talk about the amount of money that we won at Davenport, the World of Outlaws race.
Yeah.
$10,500.
$10,500.
They gave you an extra $500 for being the top local guy or something like that.
That's what it was.
But after that accident at West Liberty, and then going back with Lynn Richards, I believe in 2013, so that was the Liberty 100 where I got wrecked.
Yeah.
And then came back in 2013 and won that. And it was just something that I was just dreamed about for a long time, and I actually pulled it off. And I was in a new car, for a new car owner. So that race there probably
the best.
Yeah.
Any jitters coming into that night, especially after the big crash there?
No, I had raced there in other races, but no, not that I remember.
Okay. So talk about superstitions. We always talk about that. Gary Webb. Remember, he used to always look at his odometer rolling into the track. If it was on an even number, he thought he was going to have a good night, and if it was an odd number, it was a bad night. So he just put duct tape over the top of that. He said, I don't even want to see my odometer. But we get in here, we always ask drivers, do you have any superstitions? They're like, no. And then when you push them a little bit, they always come back, well, you know what? Because, I sit there like a lot of times when people are coming in the gate, I'm by the chip draw, as an example, when we're at a chip draw track. And you got guys who'll only draw with their left hand, and some only draw right hand. I mean, do you have any racing superstitions, Brian?
No, I don't. No, I've listened to the show, and I've heard the same question.
Yeah,
but
funny.
I really don't.
Yeah,
I really don't.
All right,
no.
That's a good thing.
It's funny to see that though. Guys say, no, I don't. But then they'll be like, well, yeah, I only listen to AC/DC, the last song before I get out of the hauler, or I put my left sock on first, or
well, you put them on the spot, and then they're processing everything up there, and then it comes.
I only
to
eat chicken nuggets before a race.
It depends on whether or not you win or not.
That's right.
Like, okay, what did I do yesterday? I won.
That's right.
Got to do the same thing.
I know it has absolutely no impact, but hey, why test the waters?
That's right.
I'm not going to push it.
Wookie, what do we got next for a pick?
2005 short track feature.
We're going to keep going beyond that.
World 100, 10,000.
We got a picture of that. Put that up there.
Really?
I just want to see that thing.
Oh,
that was over at Davenport.
Yeah.
I went down, gave him the check, and it was a Bob Wagner show back then. 10,000 to win. Kid Rocket, all the regular tour regulars were there, and interviewed Brian after that race, and it was just such a wonderful night to see one of the locals just be able to pull it off.
Oh yeah.
I mean, laps are winding down, and I'm waiting for somebody to start running them down, and man, you just. All the stars were in alignment that day, Brian.
Yeah, that's true. And we have we could see it again Saturday with Spencer coming off his win. And he's probably out of the locals. I would think that he probably has the best shot.
Man, he does.
Yeah,
man.
They got a good team.
Yep.
A lot of good helpers.
Yeah.
And Steve, he does it right.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's always done it right.
Man, that's the truth. Well, you look at some of that stuff over there. We had Spence on the show earlier in the season, and last year got a couple of new modifieds from Eckrich and got him turnkey. And I mean, when you say Steve does it right, he just, says, hey, we're going to do it right, and we're going to see where this thing goes. But now Spence has been through that Bell's palsy thing. Yeah. But really, out of all the Dirks that raced, and, Justin was a hell of a racer.
I think Spencer's better than Justin.
Spencer is better. He really is.
I'm just...
I say it. I thought somebody's going to punch me when I said that, but I said, he really is. Man, I watched that kid over there at Davenport behind the wheel of that modified, and he just was dominant. And he was struggling a little bit in the late model, and then things started to fall in place. I think they got it. All the stars are in alignment on the late model.
We'll see. It's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah.
We'll be there with the 99 car, the 99 C&W car.
Now, do you have an open motor for that then, obviously?
Yeah, it's a new car with an open engine. So we'll be over there playing with them.
Man, they had a tough time up there at Macoka Saturday night with Chris.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that. We were at a benefit here in town. So Andy Nazworski hopped in the blue 99.
Hell of a driver.
This is a
the other
white 99.
Yeah.
Owned by Amanda Curlis.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what happened.
He was a victim of circumstance.
Okay.
They're down in
Short
turn
track.
2. A couple of guys turned it sideways. Andy's right there. Kapow, right into him. But, one thing I've always said is, if you're 20 feet behind a guy and he spins and you run into him, it hurts a lot more than if you're right there by him. He was getting ready to make a pass. The guy turned it right in front of him. Had nowhere to go, but he was close.
Yeah.
So hopefully not as much damage done to the chassis.
We'll fix it.
All right, there you go.
All right, good.
We want to see some 15 cars here, Wook.
I got you.
All right. That's going to be the Lynn Richards cars later on. So, yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Harris, 4 straight IMCA Dairy Brothers Series wins. Now, Brian, tell me your opinion on that. IMCA sells the Dairy Series to the Kosiski brothers, and now it's become the Hoker Trucking East Series and the Malvern Bank West Series. How do you like that? Did you like it better as a Dairy Series? Do you think it's a good series now?
I think it's a good series now, and like one of my favorite quotes is, "You can't have progress without change."
Okay.
That's right.
And the Dairy Series it ran its course.
Yeah.
A lot of good drivers came through there.
No kidding.
And I don't know what IMCA's thought processes was on like selling it to Kosiski's, but I mean that's another huge racing family with a lot of resources, a lot of ties, and I think it's headed in the right direction, especially with Hoker.
Sure.
He's a huge asset to the sport.
Without a doubt.
To the sport, my God.
Yeah.
All the cars he sponsors. So we're talking about, the World Outlaws show coming up this week, and we got a couple of surprises nobody knows about. There's down at Burlington 34 Raceway, right above Ray Gus Jr. It would have been then. Anyway, Jeff Hoker has got 7 cars with Hoker Trucking.
That's
on it,
right.
and he's bringing in catered food for those drivers during the show.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have Scotty Relk take some lessons.
Yeah,
There you go.
no, right there you go.
If
You gotta be catered
Hoker
food
has,
into you, man.
if Hoker has 7, I bet Scotty and Ron have, I don't know. 12.
It's
I
a
don't
crazy
know.
number.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I see the name on a lot of cars, and
It really is.
And I also heard Bobby say that Hoker is actually putting up a bonus for the highest finishing one of his cars.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's neat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like that.
Yeah.
Hey, we got the next question for a free T-shirt. What was Brian Harris's favorite racetrack? That's our next question. So we're gonna move on then. Lynn Richards, tell us about Lynn Richards. He's an auctioneer.
Yeah,
Richards Realty.
yeah,
Got all that going on,
Yeah.
and he loves racing.
yeah.
All right.
He's had multiple drivers in his cars. I met him 2000.
Yeah.
When my first years down at Burlington 34 Raceway. But how I got to drive for him was I was driving for Steve Dirks at Knoxville, and Lynn came up, and Lynn was good friends with Mike Humphrey.
Okay.
And Humphrey was the crew chief for this Knoxville race.
Oh boy.
And we had a good run, and we exchanged phone numbers there at Knoxville, and one thing led to another, and that's how it all started. And we won the Dairy Championship in 2013.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many wins with that car, but
Sure.
we had a lot of good times.
Oh, no kidding.
Very
And then we ran his car Friday at West Liberty, and it's hard, when you're driving for different car owners, different types of cars.
Yeah.
All the stars have to align. We won our heat, but we didn't make the right adjustments, and ended up 11th
Okay.
Friday night.
Yeah. It happens.
But still a lot of fun. I still like hanging out with those guys and
Yeah.
catching up.
Yeah. Hey, Super Nationals, IMCA Super Nationals up in Boone, Iowa. America's Racing Vacation. Tell me what your thoughts about Boone. I mean, they get out there, they farm that track every 10 races, a lot of biting that racetrack. Do you like a dry, slick track? Do you like a heavy track, or what are your thoughts?
Like it all. You know,
Yes, whatever it is,
Just
man.
when I mean, whenever that car's right and that thing's balanced, the dirt racing. When you have a car like that on the dirt, it's a blast, you know.
Yeah.
But the slick tracks, yeah. I mean, when everybody's balanced and competitive, I mean, you see some good races, just like the Brendan Shepard and Ricky Thornton Jr. up here, the World of Outlaws race at Davenport. I mean,
it was like 029 separated first and second.
It's nuts how close it was, and I don't know if it's true or not, but like the transponder location.
Yeah.
So Brenda Kai had called a couple weeks ago. Justin and I had gone across that start finish line, and it was dead even.
Okay.
Like it was like it was zero. So I told her okay, so you have to take some notes. I mean, if that happens in a feature, like for the win,
Right.
you got to have it documented. Like you go to whoever was leading the last lap. You know,
Have some sort of process.
yeah, something so you don't run into problems. Yeah. You know,
Pick a number.
Yeah.
Odd or even.
Yeah.
So I mean, it can happen. I mean, and she proved it. I mean, it's Justin and I we were zero going across that start finish line.
Oh my God.
I mean, it wasn't the last lap, but it was some point throughout the race.
Yeah.
So what we got for backup? You know, we got 2 scorers manually. But you know, we got the technology system that's going to call the race. But if something like that would happen, we got 2 scorers calling and the flagman. So you got 3 people. And you're going to find out. We've never had to use that before, but my guess would be that's the way we'd have to go with determining who the winner is, because there's that pylon right out there on the front stretch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always been there's confusion.
Yeah, there is
with that, but I don't know where the line actually is.
Yeah, if you look on the wall, there's an orange cone.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah, that's where it's
There's
at.
a red
So
stripe. And,
you know,
and we can see it from the from the scorer stand, but that's one of the unique idiosyncrasies about Davenport is A, it's so wide, and B, it's round. And that's what a lot of the fans don't see being up in the stands. It looks oval shaped, but man, down on the track, that sucker's almost round. So it makes it even harder as they come off of the corner, because it looks like, you know, well, one car is gonna get there, or like the was that the Mars feature?
Yeah.
That with Brandon Overton.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Here in town, and it didn't look like he had a shot, but man, he came off the bottom, and it was like 0.026. You know, I'm glad I didn't have to make that call.
Yeah, and then the people in the grandstands. I mean,
wherever you're sitting at, it looks different.
Yeah. So they go down to the shed and then
Yeah,
they get to
they get a little worked out.
No, he
get a couple
didn't
beers
win.
in it.
Well, and especially when across the track, and you know it's a good finish when across the track over the engines, you hear
Yeah.
I mean, but hey, and that's also a shout out to the Kais and the entire track prep crew at Davenport. Man, I cannot wait until this week, because they do such a phenomenal job of prepping the track and staying on top of it to make a great show at the end of the night.
Oh yeah. And,
So they come out intermission and they run that track again and run their potato picker around the track and do a little massaging and doing the Dr. Al and Ricky Kai magic.
doing a little tickling.
Man, I'm telling you, Brian, it makes for a heck of a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's and they do it in a timely fashion. You know,
Yes,
I mean,
they
there's no messing around.
There is.
So that's good.
It is.
Hey, one question I always like to ask. So your personal cars, your family car, it looks like you always had number 21. What's the story? Where did the 21 come from? All the way back to the go-kart days.
Yeah. So my uncle Denny raced East Moline. He was number 21, and that's just kind of where it all.
Family number.
And in 21, the Relks.
Yeah.
That number's significant with them. It goes back to Relks and my uncle.
Okay.
And unless I was driving other people's car, all of our cars have always been 21.
Nice.
So
I like that. I love the stories behind where the numbers come from, because typically they're historically driven. Typically it's a family number or somebody or an uncle or someone back in the day. I always like to hear that.
I always like to ask, what other hobbies do you have besides racing? But we seen you with a golf club in your hands, so that's got to be it. Huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, the very first time I ever golfed was out in Vegas for that NASCAR Banquet.
Okay.
Nice.
So that was 2008. But then
All right.
I bought my first set of golf clubs this year.
Look out,
But-
man.
He's getting serious now.
Get better.
They're used.
I have, you know what? I bet you they're ping. It's just
Yeah.
a sneaking suspicion.
Hey.
Fortune teller says.
Yeah. Yeah, but we have a lot of fun. I mean, not that good.
That's the
But,
most, that's the funnest kind of golf.
Yeah. C&W just had their golf outing.
Right.
Yeah. Last Thursday, Friday, something like that.
You know, and he does a hell of a job for the people that work for him, too. I've seen, when they served all the truckers and all the employees food. And I mean, that makes working for somebody fun. It says, hey, I appreciate the good job you're doing for me. And, it's nice to have somebody like that out there.
Yeah, they're Doug and Amanda are young, and they come up with some good ideas on activities or like the food truck Friday thing. You know what I mean,
That's cool.
It's fun.
That little
Amen.
extra effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to work for people and be around people like that. So.
Brian, tell us something that nobody knows about you.
Oh.
All right.
Come on.
Don't tell me we got a
He's
tongue
a
tie.
I don't know.
secret scratch
Yeah.
golfer.
I feel like I'm 80 years old from all the accidents that I've been
Oh,
in.
man. That's
I mean,
part of being in racing. My God.
I'm feeling it. But I don't know if it's the more I race, the better I feel. But like with the breaks in between, I don't know if the body just kind of tightens up. But I'm definitely feeling some of the wrecks.
All right.
So
Yeah. I tell you, one of the racing questions I always like to ask people, especially if we have time, I call it the genie question. That is, if you had a genie bottle and you got to rub it and poof, you got to run any big race that you wanted. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter what it costs. If you got to race it, which race would it be?
I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I would say that if I had a crystal ball and I could do anything, I'd own a car.
Nice.
And
Really?
yeah, I'd own a car and have
Who'd you have drive?
Charlie Moore.
Are you kidding
There
me?
you go.
That kid has got talent.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with it. He's making some mistakes, but we've all
did
done
it.
We've all done it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to watch where his future.
He's 16 years
I
old.
know,
My
man,
God.
it's nuts.
He doesn't drive like he's 16.
No.
I didn't drive like that when I was 16. I drove more like a butthole than that.
Hey, 2 weeks ago over at Davenport Speedway, leading the feature. He led it for about 12
Yes, he
laps. He
did.
looked great.
Yeah.
Somebody stuck a nose in underneath him, and he got, a little rattled and dumped it. But, I've been down to his trailer 3 or 4 times. I don't do this to anybody. I just told Charlie, I said, you're a special talent. I've watched a lot of guys over the years.
Yeah.
And, I'm talking about thousands of racers, and you
You've
got
seen
something
a lot.
special. So I said, be thankful for that gift and race the track. Don't race the other cars. Don't pay any attention. Somebody rolls it in underneath you. They're trying to rattle you. Just keep hitting your marks, man, because that kid, if his dad sticks with it and Charlie sticks with it, he's going to be something special.
Yeah,
without a
and
doubt.
I grew up watching his dad. And I was on that other podcast. I talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But Pat was older. We were juniors, like junior 1. Okay, so
Okay.
that's like
Yeah.
10, 11, 12 years old.
All right.
Pat was in the adult classes.
Okay.
But I watched Charlie race go-karts, and it's like his form or whatever. I mean, there's fire there. I mean, it's the same fire that, I remember watching Pat. He was aggressive.
Yeah.
And I know what they have inside in the heart,
Yeah.
So if they stick with it, it'll be fun to watch him. And you never know. I mean, maybe that might happen someday.
It could.
Or he could be in the 99 C&W car.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know. But he sticks with it, picks off some wins. As soon as he gets a win, then it'll all come easier.
It will.
You just got to get that one.
Doesn't that always seem to be the case where you got to get that one breakthrough and then all of a sudden the floodgates open? And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at that point right now. Like I started all over again.
Yeah.
With a new team, new personalities, kind of learning everybody's behaviors.
Yeah.
And if we can just get a win,
You'll get
it
it.
just change the dynamics.
And so how much, especially since you've gone through kind of the transition from the older style of cars to the new technology-driven cars where they're so aero-dependent and shock-dependent, do you think that's had an impact on the team and the transition too?
Yeah. Yes. We've tried to jump on board with these new setups, and we're behind. But I don't think that the old stuff is totally done yet.
Yeah.
I think you can still win races with some of that older. I'm not saying older cars. I'm just saying older technical stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know they're trying to limit the amount of deck height. They're trying to keep them a little bit lower and not get quite so aggressive in some of the organizations. But yeah, no, it's interesting, and I think that's also a testament to your skill and ability that you're still competitive and still running right up front now compared to 10, 12 years ago, because the cars have changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, we got a winner. We got Chuck Hanna, number 65. You are the winner. You guessed West Liberty. That was the first guess for West Liberty, was Chuck Hanna, and it doesn't even show on the message board now. But I wrote it down as soon as I seen it.
He's another one from the Davenport and Mountain Joy.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, he's always been fun to race with.
Nice.
Chuck,
Always
come by the
smiling.
studio, man. He is. You know
Always
what?
smiling.
He's just there having a good time. Chuck, come by the studio, 1414 West Locust Street, right in Davenport, Iowa, and pick up your free T-shirt.
Yep.
And so, still got a little time left in the show, Pat?
A little bit. Yep.
All right. So, moving on. Do you like short tracks or half-mile tracks better?
Yeah, wherever we're
Wherever you're running,
competitive.
Yeah.
West Liberty, Knoxville, those speeds.
Yes.
I mean, it's a little bit more of an adrenaline rush.
It really is.
Than a little quarter mile like East Moline.
Sure.
But they're all
But,
fun.
Brian, you amaze me. I mean, I watch you run up at Tipton, run around the high side, just flying like no other. I've watched you at Davenport Speedway, and I've watched you up at West Liberty. And, man, you just got the magic touch out there. You got a real good feel for the car, the track, and,
Sometimes we go over the edge.
Yeah, well, that's how you find out where the edge is at, though.
Right.
You got to drive over it.
Right.
Yeah.
But so now you're still going to be driving for Lynn Richards occasionally, and you'll still be driving the 99 car for Doug Curlis.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Doug and Amanda. Yeah,
Good.
you gotta make sure you say Amanda because
She's the boss.
she's the
There you
boss.
go.
I
She's
know
the real
that.
boss.
I know that. Doug knows that too. So we got any more of those cars or pictures over there, Wookie? You can pop up. I know we had one that we talked about putting up right at the end, and that would see what we got here. There we go. There's the number 75 car with the Neltners, and boy, those guys were in racing a lot of years, and I think last year was probably their last season.
Billy Drake.
Maybe Billy Drake driving that car. And, I don't know if they still got the car, but I see that, one of the Neltners, I've got him as a friend on Facebook, and he said that was, they're going to wrap it up. And, there comes a time, as a driver, as a car owner, as a team, where you just say, hey, it's time. Everything has a cycle. Yeah. And, a team has a cycle, a race driver has a cycle. And I remember, I quit racing in 1993 would have been the last time in a modified. I raced 75 to 93. And then we tinked around, till 2000. But I just said, you know what? We just want to head a new direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do something else. And so do you see that time coming for you, Brian, down the road?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I got married in February.
All right.
Started a new business.
And the business is?
with the transport with C&W Trucking.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
All right. That's a hot business to be in right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I look at Doug and I look at Jeff Hoker and I'm thinking, man, I got to go out and buy a semi.
And and I've done a lot of different things for in my career as far as work. and I like it. It's just me in that truck.
Sure.
I like it. I like to keep it clean and fancy. And it's just me, and I don't have to babysit any employees.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
That's real cool.
Control what you can control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm always scared to put pictures of drivers up with a girl.
Oh boy.
Because I never know. Wookie, you got that picture of Brian standing next to a girl?
Yeah, let me
Hopefully,
real quick.
Yeah, okay. I know we had one driver on here earlier in the season, and he said, "Oh, I'm not with her anymore." I'm like, "Oh, geez, now we're in trouble."
Yeah,
I know nothing.
There you go.
That's Jeff Ikey's niece.
Yep. Oh, is this who you married?
No.
Okay. I think I met the one you married. You were driving Lynn Richards' car up at West Liberty, and you won the feature, and she was out there with you, hopefully. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my wife.
All right. I'm going to have to get a picture of her so I have for the next time. But that was up at Liberty again.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you've had a lot of success up there.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah.
All the different car owners, all the different crew guys that I've met throughout the year. I was going to bring up Neltner's. Ray kept that going.
Yeah.
In his dad's memory.
Right.
And then just the years that I was down there, some of the crew guys that they would just come over and hang out at the shop. Ray does a lot of the work.
Yeah.
But the guys that would just come and just sit and bullshit.
Yeah.
They've passed away.
Right.
Just so times change, man.
Times change.
That's a hard transition.
He's got some grandkids. Ray does. But he still helps Todd Bennett.
Okay.
So he's still going to the track.
Good.
But awesome guy. Always thinking of different setups, and
Yeah.
we ran some crazy stuff.
Ran
with
some
that
voodoo
guy.
setups, huh?
Yeah, man.
That's what we used to call
some
them.
crazy stuff.
Okay, we're going to try this tonight.
Yeah, one funny thing. One time he saw Jimmy Owens. He's either the World 100 or the Dream. He blew up, so oil was going on his right rear tire.
Yeah,
and he just took off. So in Ray's mind, he thinks that oil did something. So he mounted a fire extinguisher inside the by the drive shaft.
Yeah, right.
And then I had a little lever.
Yeah.
He filled it with WD-40, and under cautions, I would get a little hand signal. He'd give me a little squirt. Give it a little squirt.
Yeah.
And I kind of cleaned them tires up a little bit. I don't know if it was legal or illegal, but
Well,
we did it. And it's just
not cheating unless you get caught.
right.
That's right.
Tech guy goes, "What's that funny thing there?"
Yeah.
Where's all that
sick
smoke,
is that for?
where's all that
Right.
smoke coming from?
I don't know. There was something leaking out of there. I don't know what it was. It hit the
No, I'll tell you what,
G-forces.
Brian.
Man.
You live the life rally. I mean, when the 21H team was together, when your dad's business was going great. I mean, you guys, your dad's house, it was like a castle out there.
Yeah, we had a track out there.
I mean, is that crazy?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is nuts. There were some late nights that we would practice around there in personal street vehicles.
Yeah.
But when we were breaking an engine or breaking some brake pads or whatever, we just take it out there on the track.
Sure.
Nice.
And
So
got pulled over. I got pulled over. I mean, a sheriff or a highway patrol come
out there?
come onto the property, and
oh my God.
we never watered it.
Yeah.
So when we're kicking up all that dust and it's going to Interstate 80.
Yeah, cool.
So zero visibility, and he came on, and it was like a full-blown traffic stop. He's like, "Can you step out of the vehicle, please?"
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, wanted to see my license. Like,
Oh,
this
come
isn't
on,
a street
man.
vehicle, but
You're on my property now.
I obeyed and did everything he asked.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that story. That's great.
Yeah.
Did you have to signal left turn?
I
No
saw him pull in the driveway, and I was like, "Oh boy, here we go."
Now we got Adam Sampson up there talking about the only guy I've seen flip twice in the same race. I'm announcing over at Davenport Speedway. You're in the 21H car. Were you driving? Was that what you were
I
in?
don't remember that night. No, I'm just
Were you in Daryl Dorscher's car or the 21H?
That was when I drove with Daryl, it was his engines and always our cars.
That's what it was.
It was.
But you flipped that thing.
It was a rocket. Yeah, that was.
You drove it down in the pits. This is no kidding. And you were just tearing it up, in that car. Went down the pits. They looked the car over. I thought, well, hell, I guess everything's okay. He comes out and you start in the back and you drive it back up to the front.
Flipped the same
and
place.
Flipped it the same place down to 1 and 2. Over the edge he goes. And I'm like, what in the hell? Yeah. And then they throw the caution and he drives it back down in the pits. I'm like, well, what are you going to do now? Come back out and win it? But, it had to hurt the car, Brian.
Oh, yeah. That time, that's when I got introduced to Mike Humphrey, because after that second one, it was done.
Yeah.
That's when I got introduced to Mike Humphrey, and he put a stub on it, and we continued to. That car might be still out there, up in Independence, but Adam Sampson, Zach Frield, Scott Ward, Tyson. Scott Fitzpatrick, all them guys. I mean, Adam, who brought that up, I've known him since I was high school, maybe junior high.
Real cool.
We've had a lot of good times together.
I'm glad he brought that up. I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
that was kind of a crazy time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, any sponsors that you want to make sure that you give a shout out to?
Oh, just all of them throughout the years. Relk and IITI and C&W and Lynn Richard. Richard Realty, Filling Station have been big supporters.
Sure.
Some of them that were on our family car have followed us with other car owners.
Here.
Always been a great bunch of people, and also with all the help, It takes everybody to do it, and we talk about Spencer.
Yeah,
he's got that whole package right now.
He does,
and he got good funding, good help, and he's young, So go get
he's got
it.
That on site.
Go get it.
Yeah. Hey, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're going to be there with the Curlis team. You're going to have the number 99.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
We. There's a tire shortage.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
we just got 12 tires today. So.
Oh, what was the magic formula to getting those babies? Just tell Doug you don't want to know. We got the tires.
Yeah.
Don't care where they came from.
Yeah, so we were kind of like in limbo. Didn't know if we were gonna make it or not. But I actually drove by when the picture came up with Bobby Pierce. I delivered down in Danville, Illinois today.
Oh, you did?
And then
they had a great track.
Yeah, but they're right off the interstate. Their shop is
right.
So we were in limbo, but we got the tires, so we're getting prepared for it.
Good,
outstanding,
good. Well, any closing thoughts, Pat, from you?
Thanks for Brian for joining us. Can't wait for this upcoming weekend. We're going to be out there shooting some extracurricular video and some stuff too. So looking forward to it.
That's what I was going to say. With Ricky and Brenda and Al, Sean Loader,
right?
All everybody that's behind this deal, and even everything that you guys do.
Yeah.
You have a nice room here. I've listened to it with other guests.
Good.
So thank you for everything you guys do.
Yeah,
we're all in it together.
We're all in it together, brother.
It's going to be a fun weekend.
It's going to be a fun weekend. Yeah. So in closing, I'll say the same thing. Get out there, check out the races. Great weekend of racing. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Davenport Speedway, 10,000 win Thursday, 10,000 win Friday, 30,000 win Saturday. This is an event that only comes around, once in a lifetime. 3 days, World Outlaws. There's nothing better. A lot of side activities going on. Bring the family out, enjoy some real dirt track racing right here in Davenport, Iowa.
Yeah, so we can make it an annual event.
Yeah,
yes.
I want to do that.
Yes,
yeah.
An event, not a race. I like that. And so I'm going to reiterate one more time on the social media. Please make sure you like and share. I also will ask people that when you go to the races this weekend, also make sure that you check in. Like and share that you're at the races. So it helps racing more than you realize. And obviously everybody that's watching us now is on some form of social media. That's something that I've thought about a number of times when we've been at the track. A lot of times we get to the racetrack and we don't think about posting on social media. But to help racing continue to grow, we need to help bring people that are not necessarily in the racing circles in. No better way to do that. It's free and easy by liking and sharing where you're at and what you're doing with your family and friends.
Finally, I want to thank Kelly at Done Right TV for investing in,
Shout out
you know,
to
the
Kelly.
racing organization, doing the live broadcasts out at the racetrack and all the pay-per-view. And, you know, if he can help you out with anything, give us a call over here, 563-355-7490. We're going to have a motorhome set up at the racetrack this weekend. We're going to have a canopy out there, tables, chairs. We'll have our studio down here we can bring people to. We'll have a portable studio set up at the racetrack.
Where's your guys' motorhome going to be at?
Sean Loader said he guaranteed us a spot. What we were trying to determine was whether we want to be in the pit area and maybe we're in the middle of an interview and somebody fires their motor up and that's not good, or do we want to be out by the main grandstand? So that had yet to be determined today when I talked to Kelly. We're going to be there. Yep. I'll let you know where we're at. We're going to do a live pit walkthrough down there like we normally do. We get 7,000 to 11,000 people watching that thing free, live. So check it all out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that's about it, Pat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, God bless each and every one of you. Thanks for tuning into the show. We'll see you this weekend out at Davenport Speedway at the World Outlaws show. This is your host, Shane Davis, my co-host, Pat Morris, saying we'll be seeing you around the racetrack. Good night.
Good night.